Hey everyone, welcome to Daily Revelations. Happy Monday, and we are now in Esther 9, starting a new chapter, and it's a pretty long chapter, I'll have to give you that, and at the end we're going to bump in chapter 10 as well because it's so short, but just a warning about that. But this chapter has so much good content, and the thing that I really wanted to dive into today is a couple words that just really popped out to me in my reading, and they were the word lot and pur, and they're found in verse 24. And so I went back to the Hebrew and I thought, yes, it was like a casting of lots, which we think of often as dice, when you throw the dice, it's by chance, but it was rather different because that word lot, see if I can pronounce it, gual, was a rough stone. It didn't have equal sides. There was no equivalence in it at all. Haman could have chose the side that it was most likely to come up to. And so the lot was not, it was not fair. And we find sometimes in our lives the same thing, these rough, unfair circumstances. And that's what got me down this rabbit trail. I was just praying. I'm like, God, what do you want to really teach me in this? And it's that life is unfair. And I remember telling my son that when he was young, because he would always say, but this person gets to do that. And, my brother gets this instead. And as you parent, of course, you parent according to that child. Not always did I have the same punishment for each child because it didn't work. My oldest would have been happy with the punishment the second one got, but it wasn't flipped the other way. So life sometimes just feels unfair, and these circumstances that surround us feel rough, they feel raw, and we want to enact justice. But oftentimes the way that circumstances turn out, we're put in a place where we have no ability to do that. But here's the good side. So the next word that I want to talk about is pur, or pur, as it's pronounced, the beginning of Purim, which is the festival of the Jewish people for this exact thing, which you learn about in this chapter too. But that word pur means it means a lot with a chance to rise up from a broken place. So it is this chance that is given to rise up. And as I was praying through this, what really came to mind that God showed me is that I have taken that chance. I have filled in that place. I make sure that die always turns in your favor. All you have to do is follow me. You don't have to try to manipulate the dice. My kids sometimes talk about putting dice in freezers and so that one side comes up or rolling it because it's unbalanced and figuring out which one has the greater likelihood of coming up. We don't have to do any of that. We don't have to do any of that in situations in our life to kind of edge ourselves to have the better advantage, no matter how disadvantaged we feel or how disadvantaged other people in our lives. We want to fix their situations too. It isn't just us. Sometimes we see a child or a neighbor or somebody going through a really rough time and we want to fix it. The problem is God saying, no, I will fix it. You instead learn to follow me. I wrote this in my notes. At the top of your page, it says, what do you have to be thankful for today? Sorry, my schedule's a little crazy today. And I wrote, I can put my energy, all of it, into loving, because I know that the rough situations tossed in the craziness of this world will always lead me to victory. So why would I go about trying to fix and change the outcome when I can live in whatever the circumstance is and know that the victory is mine? Because God promises that. We go from a rough situation to always redeemed. That's the beauty of living in Christ. So, Jesus is our comfort in these times. He is the one who is fighting, and he is the one who has victory. We already know that. So I just want to encourage you. Isaiah 51:11 says this as well. So the ransomed of the Lord will return and come with joyful shouting to Zion, an everlasting joy. That's what we are promised in the end. Your victory may not come in this world, and that is okay. God says, I've got it worked out for eternity. And that is where our hope lies, not in the day-to-day muck of life. And your everlasting joy will be on your head, and you will obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and sighing will flee. Someday it will be completely gone. It's momentary here in this world, but someday it will be completely gone. So I hope that's an encouragement for you today. Thanks for joining me on Daily Revelations, and I will see you tomorrow. Again, talking about Esther 9 and see what God has to share with us. Bye, everybody.